So life as a designer started when I was a small wee girl. So mum taught me how to sew when I was about 12 years old, and from that day I just kind of took to a sewing machine. I spent my whole youth creating clothes for myself and for friends, and then I went on to study textile design at university. I then was fortunate enough to win a scholarship to study at Parsons School of Design in New York, and went over there to study under the guidance of Tim Gunn, which was a really informative period of my life and has really influenced who I am today as a designer. Yeah, we make all of our product, or 93% of our product, in New Zealand, which I'm incredibly proud of. I think that as a company we need to look after our local communities, and to me that's the manufacturing community in New Zealand. For the small percentage of product that we make offshore, it's purely because we don't have the machinery within New Zealand to be able to create those garments. I've got two little girls, Myra, who's 3 years old, and Daisy, who's 7 months old. So my days start with snuggles in bed with them, and then coming into work. And I'm really lucky that I've got a great team of people around me. So my working day looks very different now than what it did 5 years ago. I still do all of the design myself. I do have a design assistant who helps me with the design, but I still feel that as a designer of a fashion company, that I need to be involved in all the design. But I also spend a lot of time just being the business owner and managing the business and ensuring that we are heading in the right direction and doing things that we love to do. There's been so many people that have been impactful on who I am as a person and also my career, but I'd have to say that the most prominent would be my parents. Like, I'm so incredibly grateful for the upbringing that they gave me and the belief that they instilled in me that I could be whatever I wanted to be growing up. So I will always be so thankful to what they provided me. I feel really proud of the fact that we make locally, so we're ensuring that our community is sustainable, and we are mindful of that going forward. But it's also when we're creating and designing clothes that we're making decisions about fabrications and ensuring that our clothing has a longevity to it. I feel really proud of the fact that customers continue to stay customers of ours because they're able to mix and match from seasons past to current season, and everything still kind of works together. And I think that's really important to create garments that last the test of time, not only in their durability but also in the way that they are aesthetically pleasing and still kind of contemporary throughout the seasons. It's challenging bringing children into the world and wondering how they're going to interpret the world as they grow up. And I think the one thing, there's so many things that I'd love to be able to instill in them, but it is that everything that happens you are able to learn from and can be seen as a positive experience. Yeah. The juggle of being a working mum it is a juggle, but as I said, I've got a great team around me. I've got a really supportive husband. I've got a wonderful nanny who looks after the girls while I come to work. I get to call the shots as a business owner, which is really exciting. So if I don't want to be at work, I don't have to be if the girls have got something on. But then at the same time, I think that by being at work, I'm being the best version of myself, so it enables me to be a better mum to the girls. And I feel really proud of the fact that they're going to grow up and see what I have created and know that I've worked really hard, and that hopefully I instill in them that if you work hard and you love what you do, then you can go on to have a really rewarding and full life. I wouldn't want to have my family in any other country. I think that we're incredibly lucky here in New Zealand to be in the country that we are, and I think there's so many opportunities that are presented to us which I wouldn't swap for the world. In terms of how lucky we are in New Zealand and the access that we have to medical care and the likes of Starship, I don't really know any different. Like, it's just what we've grown up with, knowing that the country will take care of us should we be sick. And I am so incredibly grateful that there is this whole resource there that can help guide people through some really challenging times. And I couldn't imagine being in countries or being a parent of children in countries where there's not that same support shown to us. So when we came to be thinking about designing the print for this project, we had been on the cards for a wee while, and I actually ended up back in hospital with my little girl Daisy, who has she's perfectly healthy and fine, but she has failed to thrive. So that's terminology, but she's a little wee girl, so we've had a couple of stints in hospital, and the deadline for this print was looming, and we actually got admitted to hospital I think on a Monday night, and the deadline was on Wednesday. So I had a really wakeful night in Starship that night thinking about it, and we wanted it to the print to talk back to kind of our spring summer collection and kind of who we are as a company, and Juliette Hogan as a designer. And being in hospital that night, I was thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful for it to reflect Daisy as a person? And so I was thinking that actually turning the ribbon print into kind of a daisy chain would be a really great way to show that. And so when the next morning I gave Louise, our print designer, a call, and I said, look, I've had this idea, can you mock up some designs for us? And she did that and sent them through that day when I was in hospital, because I had a lot of time on my hands, so I was flicking through lots of things, and we finalised on the daisy chain print, which I feel is so beautiful, and it's so nice to have that meaning for me behind it, in terms of Daisy being my daughter and spending time in Starship, and kind of having a really personal story to the print. I feel gratitude, I think, a huge amount of the time, and I think that's who I am as a person. I feel grateful for being in New Zealand, grateful for the opportunities that it presents, grateful for the people that I have surrounding me in this company to enable me to continue to move forward in the company and develop as a brand. I feel grateful for my husband, to be able to give me my little girls. There's so many things that contribute to who I am as a person that I wouldn't swap for the world.